everybody. Adam and Danger here with Sports Capitalist coming at you with our conference championship breakdown for the NFL season. So only 3 games left to go on the year. What a wild weekend of football that was. Easily, in terms of a single round of playoffs, this past weekend was probably the greatest weekend of football in my lifetime. Danger, congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. You almost blew it at the end, but you got it done.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah, it was a hard team effort. I'm glad I did my part to make sure the Rams
yeah,
get into the playoffs there. And no,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was fairly confident in our team. Like, I've talked to you in the past about like just these random stats, and I kind of like to coin the term magic stats, where they're just like they're those stupid stat block things that you see on broadcast. It's like, oh, they've had like a 26 win streak or something. We've always seemed to have Tom Brady's number, and if the first 3 quarters didn't convince you, I don't know what will. But yeah, that last fourth quarter, Brady's demon magic turned on, and the comeback was starting.
I still watched the whole thing thinking, I've seen this movie before.
I
It's not
know.
over as long as Tom Brady's in this game.
Yeah,
Well, you get a familiar opponent if you're not super
I am
in
not
tune
happy
with
about
the
this.
NFL. Yeah, the 4 seed Los Angeles Rams will take on the 6 seed San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Conference Championship. That is a 6:30 Eastern kickoff time. At 3 o'clock Eastern, the 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs will host the 4 seed Cincinnati Bengals. So very interesting playoffs so far. Last weekend easily made up for that total dud of the wild card weekend. The 7th seed was such a stupid idea.
Yeah, they got to
Unless
get rid of it next year.
yeah, unless the Jets get the 7th seed next year, in which case it's the greatest decision that anybody's ever made.
Yeah.
So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Danger, let's jump right into it. We'll
Yeah.
try and keep it short and sweet for you guys since it's only a 2 game slate. Let's jump into the quarterbacks. So we've got on DraftKings, Patrick Mahomes at 7,400, Joe Burrow at 66, Matthew Stafford at 63, and Jimmy Garoppolo at 54. We'll try and keep it to a guy we like, a guy we don't like, and then some value guys maybe that we'll sprinkle in there. So, Danger, who are you liking among the quarterbacks this week?
Honestly, I think the shorter list is who I don't like, and that's Jimmy G. He hasn't scored a
Mhm.
touchdown pass in 3 to 4 weeks or something like that. I don't
Mhm.
think it's going to happen here either. The guy that I do like though is obviously going to be Matt Stafford. He's the cheapest out of the bunch, surprisingly. Did well against San Francisco when they visited last time. He would have scored, I think it was like 23 points if not for those 1 or 2 interceptions. So still good value. Do I think Patrick Mahomes and Burrow are going to blow it up? Yeah, absolutely. But I want to save that extra $1,100 because of a player I want to pick up in the wide receiver slot. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll this do a little stack there. But yeah, what about
Yeah.
you, man?
So I'm kind of in the same boat as you with Jimmy G. At his price, his last 2 games against the Rams, he really wasn't bad compared to his price. He was in kind of that 15 to 18 range
Yeah,
in both games. So that's not bad, but I have a hard time seeing it this week, especially since he's looked a little banged up over the past few weeks. Stafford, I think, is a great value, but also the last time they played San Francisco, he did well. The time before that, though, he only had 11 fantasy points.
yeah,
So you kind of have to determine which Matt Stafford do you think shows up this week.
yeah.
Um,
And
I'm
and
the
I do have faith in them. I mean, like this game is literally for the soul of California, of the fan
yeah,
base. Like
yeah,
if San Francisco wins, Rams will never. I don't think fan wise, like Rams will never come back from this. They would have to win
yeah.
multiple Super Bowls in a row. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, need that. The guy I'm biggest on, I agree with you on Mahomes and Burrow, but I'm bigger on Burrow just because of his cheaper price. And if you recall, the last time the Bengals and the Chiefs played each other earlier in the year. Now it was in Cincinnati. This week is going to be in Kansas City, but that was the game where Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdowns.
Nice.
So does he do that again? Probably not, but I still think he has some good upside there. Just
Dude.
Kansas City 31st against fantasy quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes only 20 points when they played Cincinnati. Again, it's going to be on a different field, but especially with the Bengals being 7-point underdogs,
Yeah.
they're thinking that they're going to be playing from behind, and I think they, I think Burrow's got a good upside relative to
Yeah.
his price. So yeah, Burrow, the guy I like the most. Jimmy G probably the guy I like the least. Stafford I think is a good value, but I think I would rather still pay up a little bit more and
Yeah,
grab Joe Burrow.
$300. Yeah, absolutely. And dude,
Yeah,
there's something about like I think we both kind of said it at the beginning of the playoff season where it was like, dude, Cincinnati's probably the dark horse out of all this. And man,
oh yeah,
the team's really fun to follow and exciting to watch. And
yeah,
I think this might be another Bills versus Chiefs game, man, where we just see
hmm,
these young AFC quarterbacks just take over the whole league. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And if you can't tell from my hair, I'm still not like fully recovered from the fourth quarter that the Rams had.
yeah,
But just man, like it's really exciting football recently. I think
yeah.
we've said as much as we can about QBs. You want to move on to the running backs?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Moving on to the running backs here. And yeah. So we're starting off at the top, most expensive running back at 6,800 with Joe Mixon against Carolina Chiefs. What are we thinking here with that price?
I think with the amount of wide receivers on the slate, it's going to be hard to justify having Joe Mixon in there. And I talked about it in my video breakdown for last week's Saturday slate, where I was really big on Derrick Henry last week. But the problem was with all of the receivers that were on the slate, your AJ Browns, Debo Samuel, those guys that played in those Saturday games, it was going to be hard to fit Derrick Henry and some of those receivers into your lineup. So I think you have to make a decision there. I think Mixon will be underowned because of that. So I still kind of like him as a GPP play. But even in that last game against Kansas City, only 15 fantasy points in a game where they scored how many points? I mean, Burrow threw 5 touchdowns, so right there tells you like that it was a high scoring game.
Yeah.
And so I think you can save money at the running back position this week.
Yeah.
There's a couple other guys I like, but you this whole season have been more into Mixon than I have. So how are you feeling about him?
I kind of agree with you that like I think where you want to go this week to just put all your money in is wide receivers. And obviously there's two studs there in the wide receiver slot that we're going to talk about because I think this is where you want to go budget mode. But the thing is, like, I just told you I want to go Stafford, and I'm obviously going to say in the next step, in the next wide receiver, like, you got to pick up Cooper Kupp. Like, the offense runs through Cooper Kupp, but, to save money, like, I don't want to say Cam Akers this week. I like, just too many Rams on there. I don't know, and with everything that just happened last week against him. But where I do like is probably the McKinnon. That was weird. Oh, the McKinnon and CEH area.
Yep.
Again, while the defensive line of Cincinnati is good, literally the linebackers are pretty weak. So if they can just get through those D lines, and the offensive line of the Chiefs aren't half bad, they can definitely make that push in there. So I would definitely be looking at Edward, CEH and McKinnon. It's just hard because you don't know who Andy Reid is going to start. Every time we were like, oh, it's definitely this guy this week. Everything's pointing to this. Andy Reid's like, nope, psych, and like starts someone else. Like he did that with us with Darrell Williams like a few weeks back, and it's just who knows. So yeah.
They were easing CEH back into it last week. He only had 7.9 fantasy points. Jerick McKinnon managed to rack up 12.8 in the last game, so he was more productive than CEH even with him back in the lineup. And then the week before, 26.2 against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's got a good run defense. So I like both of them because just like with Akers last week, I think Edwards-Helaire is progressively more involved in the offense, but I don't mind handcuffing them. I don't mind playing both of them because you're right. Cincinnati's run defense leaves a lot to be desired. They're 21st against fantasy running backs. But for me, I really like Cam Akers. That those fumbles last week were a bummer, but
Yeah, he was so close to 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. The opportunities are there for Cam Akers, and they seem like they're confident with his abilities and his injury status, and they get him very involved. So Cam Akers at 5,000 is probably my favorite running back play on the slate.
Gotcha. And if you're looking for something super low budget, but honestly is going to be very red zone dependent and kind of a punt play, it's going to be Kyle Juszczyk. Yeah. Again, they like doing these trick, like, oh, actually we're passing it to the fullback. Weird plays to him a lot. And he was like wide open one time in the Cowboys game, I think, where it would have been like a 40-yard like touchdown pass, but he got overthrown.
Him.
But
yeah, I like him. Just one thing to note for him specifically, in the 2 games against the Rams this year, Kyle Juszczyk 1.6 fantasy points and 0 fantasy points.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they game plan around him. I don't know why you would need necessarily to do that, but he just hasn't seemed to been getting it done against the Rams. But the logic is there because he is still very involved in the offense. It just takes one opportunity.
Yeah,
and pays off the price at 4,100.
Like I said, he's probably the safest punt play there. And if you're looking to save money, because I think we're done with the running backs here. We're just going to move on here to the wide receivers, because this is where you're going to spend most of your money, your lineup. The receivers for all 4 of these teams are stacked, man. And again, Cooper Kupp at 8,800, worth it, man. Like just look at just look at these insane stat lines that he's got, man. Like his he's 33% of his red zone targets of his whole team, dude. More than any other receiver by at least 9%. Like insane.
And he's averaging between 27 and 28 fantasy points per game against the 49ers in the last 2 games against them. So yeah, he's for sure worth it, and he's actually cheaper than what he has been recently. Last week he was 8,600, so he's a little more expensive. But in the weeks prior, he was in the 9,000s. So I love Cooper Kupp at 8,800. I'm not scared to play him at that price at all.
Yeah, me neither.
So outside of that obvious one, when we're talking about some of these other guys, maybe in the 6,000 to 7,000 range, I'm big on Joe Burrow, so I really like Jamar Chase. In that big game against Kansas City that Joe Burrow had, Jamar Chase 58.6 fantasy points. Just a nuts figure. Again, the likelihood that he does that again is very low, but we've seen that he can burn him over the top. Kansas City secondary is, they're very reliant on their offense to score a lot of points, as we saw in the Buffalo game. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to good offenses. So of the non-Cooper Kupp guys that are in the more expensive range, I think I like Jamar Chase the best. Do you have a different opinion on that?
I mean, it's always hard to count Deebo Samuel out. Again, kind of like their Cooper Kupp. The offense runs through Deebo Samuel. He's taking some hits though, man. Like you just see him sometimes, and he's just like, I'm tapped out, man. I ran out of gas.
Yeah,
this team's too heavy. Get him
plays off.
Like they're just riding him like crazy, man.
And worth noting too, so it could be very well worth it to, if you can afford it, to stack Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel, because Deebo Samuel is averaging 29 fantasy points against the Rams specifically.
I was gonna look that up. I was gonna look that up because I remember last time I also said Ayuk, and he scored, I believe, like 20 points. Like why can I not find him on the? Here we go.
19.7. Yeah,
19 point. But like also out of nowhere, Jennings scored like I think 27 or something. Again, he didn't.
Garbage time points.
Yeah, like that was the only game he's done anything this whole season. and yeah, just crazy. I don't know if it's a fluke. He's the least expensive guy on the slate. I guess keep an eye out on him if you want to do something super punty. I don't think so. I think more safe choices is going to be like Pringle or Boyd in this situation, because I could definitely see them covering up on Chase and just having to do the mid and short game with Higgins and Boyd here. But I mean
Boyd. Boyd is my favorite value wide receiver on the slate.
Yeah,
just with the upside that Burrow has, and he did solid. I think of those 3 Cincinnati receivers, I think the one that was the least productive in that big Kansas City game was T. Higgins, and I'm not. That doesn't shy me away from T. Higgins this week. I like him at 5,700, but Tyler Boyd at 42, I just think is a great value. I think that's a big underprice on DraftKings part.
I was also gonna recommend, like, I was looking at Odell because like I love the guy ever since he came there. Little worried at the beginning when he first got here. For some reason we don't have his red zone stats, but he is kind of a red zone dependent guy. But he'll make big plays every now and then too. I'm also usually liking the guys that have deep threats, like Jefferson and Deshaun Jackson and all that. But I'm not feeling it this week with him, honestly.
Worth noting, Odell Beckham, he's been good since he joined the Rams, but against the 49ers specifically, 3.8 fantasy points in both games against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will.
How did Jefferson do against them?
Let's check it out.
I know he's questionable with a knee injury. He only did 5.
He'll likely play. Van Jefferson 5.1 and 8.4. So
how did Sony Michel do against the Rams? I mean 49ers. I know we're going back to the.
That's all right. I got it up right here. Yeah, so it's looking like a Cooper Kupp. Sony Michel 5.9, 5.1. Yeah. Get Cooper Kupp.
Get Cooper
Kupp, Cam Akers.
You can't go wrong.
Lock that in. So let's move on to the tight ends. So big tight end slate this week. The big 4: Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Tyler Higbee, C.J. Uzomah are the 4 starters. Travis Kelce coming in at 6,500. So I like that price personally. I think I'd rather play Travis Kelce at that price than I would play Tyreek Hill at 7,000. But obviously it's going to be really hard to pass up George Kittle at 5,000. I think that's another big misprice. Against the Rams, these 2 games, 6 points and 16 points. So hopefully you would want more on the 16 side. Given their pricing and everything, between the 2, which one would you go with, Danger?
I think George Kittle is priced this way because I think the last 3-4 games he just hasn't done anything. Mm-hmm. I think he's literally scored almost maybe 10 points total. Don't quote me. Don't quote me on that.
He got 10 last week, so barely. But you're right. The 4 games prior to last week, I mean, combined 12.
Yeah,
it's 14, something like that.
So I think that's why. And one of those 2.8 games was against the Rams. So they were really good. Five catches for 6 yards.
Yeah,
and a 4-yard rush. So they did a really good job in shutting down Kittle this time. Higbee, he was the one that had the I definitely agree. You have to go, or you got to find space for Kelce out of all these tight ends here. I mean, Higbee could be, man, I know I've said almost every Ram so far, but
Higbee last time they played the 49ers, 23, he had 2 touchdowns.
And from what I could tell, I don't know about OBJ, but he has 18 from the targets compared to Cooper Kupp's 37, so half the targets. But hey, for a tight end, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
It's for me. It's close between Higbee and Uzomah. I think I would give the edge to Higbee just on red zone targets,
the
and
slightest
Uzomah,
edge.
again, in a game where Burrow threw 5 touchdowns, CJ Uzama only scored 7.2 fantasy points in that game against Kansas City. So yeah, I think I'd lean Higbee in terms of the value guys at the tight end. I'm not quite considering George Kittle like a value guy, although I do think he's still underpriced.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I was like, wait, Sony Michel didn't do anything. The Van Jefferson Odell did it. I'm like, who else
Cup.
did it go to? And it was Tyler. It was Higbee.
It was
And
Cup
Cup.
and Higbee.
But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind that stack at all. The Stafford, Cup, Higbee. I wouldn't even mind throwing Akers in there. I think that'll still leave you a good amount to plug in some high quality players throughout the rest of your lineup.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to defenses. So kind of all they're all pretty close. The Rams at 32, the Chiefs at 3, the 49ers at 28, and the Bengals at 26. Worth noting that the Niners-Rams game is the lower over-under of the two. Niners-Rams is at 45.5. Bengals-Chiefs is at 54.5. So I'd probably shy away from, if I'm picking a defense, I'm probably going with either the Rams or the 49ers, depending really on who you think is going to win that game. It might be hard with the rest of your lineup to maybe fit the Rams in at 32, but it should still be doable. I think that's where I'd lean towards the most. Danger, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's the smartest, safest play, and we're talking about within $600 of the bottom and the top. Yeah, like I think Chiefs is going to be a complete blowout. Rams and Niner game, it is going to be closer. So if you're just like, darn, I just can't get there like I with the Rams D. I guess you can go Niners and just pray that Stafford makes mistakes or something.
Yeah, if you have a lineup that you really like and you can't quite fit the Rams in there, I wouldn't compromise that lineup. I would just move down to the 49ers if you can do it. Yeah. If you have a combination of quarterback, receivers, running backs that you really like, I wouldn't try and move any of them out of the way just for the sake of putting the Rams defense in there. If you have to go down to San Francisco, I think the upside is pretty much the same between the Rams and the 49ers, just for $400 cheaper. So I think I like the 49ers. You're right. I think the Rams is probably the safest play for cash, but I think I like the 49ers defense the best among the four.
Yeah. Well,
that
is our thoughts, guys. And you know what? As always, that we've been kind of doing towards the playoff, we like to build a lineup for y'all. So let's check this out real quick. So let's just start with the QBs here. What are we feeling right off the bat?
I think I know where you're going to go with it.
Yeah.
If I'm starting one, I'd go with Burrow or Stafford. So let's do this. Let's do a Burrow lineup and just see, because we're gonna have Cup either way.
Yeah,
probably.
I was just about to say.
So
yeah,
let's put Burrow in there and see what kind of room we have.
Gotcha, and I'm just gonna add Cup in here as well. So we have 34. Yeah. We have 34,600 left. We got to choose our running backs here, and what are we feeling? You're feeling Cam Akers, and I'm guessing one of the running backs from the Chiefs.
Yeah, I would probably go. Let me take a look at Elijah Mitchell real quick. Yeah, that's not doing a ton for me. Let's throw in Jerick McKinnon and see where we're at there.
I would have to agree with that too. And are we doing a Jamar Chase stack here as well?
Well, let's first throw in Tyler Boyd because he's kind of that value guy.
All right.
So let's throw in Boyd.
We have 4 spots left at 20,300.
Yeah.
So
5,000 per.
I'm just gonna go to the defense real quick, and we're gonna just throw in the 49ers there.
Yeah.
So,
let's do that.
Yeah. 3.
58 per.
Yeah. Wide receiver, tight end, and a flex left.
Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, so let's throw in Jamar Chase. Oh, yeah, this is pretty. Okay. Ooh, this would be, yeah, a lot would have to happen here though. So my original thought was if you throw in Boyd, you can get Chase. Probably though want to bring it back. Ugh.
We thinking about Kelsey here?
Yeah, I had Kittle in there, and that would leave you room to get Boyd, Chase, and Higgins, but a lot would have to happen for that to pay off.
So,
No.
so with all that, when the flex, we can pick up Pringle, who has been doing pretty good as of late.
He has been.
Yeah, they're covering up.
Oh, yeah,
he's been the third option between Kelsey and Hill.
Yeah.
And that would fit the model perfectly with Joe Burrow, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Kelsey, and Pringle.
Yep, you could do that. So yeah, I don't hate that lineup. Burrow, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Kelsey, Pringle, and the 49ers defense. I think let me take out Kelsey and put in Kittle and see what I can do for that flex spot. Yeah, that just puts me at Higgins, or I mean, you could, if you're willing to leave salary on the table, you could put Odell Beckham in there.
I'm actually really liking Ayuk, but that means we could take Boyd out.
Ayuk, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So 800 left. Yeah, you couldn't upgrade. So right now, Burrow, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Kittle, Ayuk, and the 49ers defense. I don't hate that lineup at all. I actually kind of really like that. I want to see if at that point, can I upgrade Jerick McKinnon though? Like how much could I upgrade him? So you could go, okay. So you could go up to Elijah Mitchell if you wanted, but that's going to be hard to justify if you already have Kittle and Ayuk in your lineup. But again, if you want to go super stack with Burrow and you want to go all in and you think he's going to have, a huge performance like he did last time against Kansas City, you could go Burrow, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Kittle, Higgins, and the 49ers defense. That would all fit. So up to you there. Let's do one more. Let's take out Burrow. Let's put in Stafford. And then let's take out Kittle and put in Higbee. And let's see where that...
Man, that $300 makes a huge difference, actually.
Come on. Discord notifications keep blocking me from... Oh, okay. Yeah, so you could do whatever you wanted at that point.
Yeah.
So right now, Stafford, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Higbee, and then you could literally play anybody that you wanted in that last spot, like a Deebo Samuel. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So Stafford, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Jamar Chase, Tyler Higbee, Deebo Samuel.
Oh, you did Boyd?
Yeah, but you probably don't want the 49ers defense in a Stafford stack. So you could... Oh, that's gross. I guess you would... no, because you have Boyd and... Yeah, the defense is going to be tricky this week. I guess that in this scenario, you'd want the Bengals defense because we really don't have much on the Kansas City side. And then boom.
You can go Pringle again. Stafford, McKinnon, Akers, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Kelsey, Pringles, and 49ers D with $300 left over. But there's really no one better.
Right, but in a Stafford lineup, you probably don't want the 49ers defense. Gotcha. Unless you want to bank on a touchdown.
Well, yeah, let's just... Oh, we're out. Oh, man, we're $100 shy of the Rams. That sucks.
Yeah. But I still like that lineup. Stafford, Akers, McKinnon, Kupp, Boyd, Chase, Higbee, Deebo, and the Bengals defense. I think that's a good lineup too. All right. So do you want to do our quick fire or rapid fire, I should say, picks for the two games this weekend?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Kansas City Chiefs 7-point home favorites to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Dude, give me spoiler.
I'll take the...
Give me Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals to cover 7 there. The over-under is 54.5.
Dude, it's gonna be crazy, but yeah, man, give me over.
Yeah, I think I like the over there too. That's a tough one though.
Yeah,
I think my favorite play in that game would be the Bengals +7.
yeah,
And then the Los Angeles Rams 3.5 point home favorites to the San Francisco
dude,
49ers. Rams fan.
this game's gonna kill me, dude.
Oh,
Give me
no.
Rams.
Okay.
Give me by 10 points.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Rams to cover there too. The over/under is 45.5.
Give me over on that as well.
Yeah. Yep, I'll take the over there too. But I like the spreads in both games. I could see both games going under as well. So I like the spreads a little bit better. The Bengals +7, the Rams -3.5. Um, so yeah, that's where we'll land with that. So with that, Danger, good luck to the Rams this weekend. I'll be hitting you up during the game, just trying to get you riled up. I don't have any stake in that game, but I'll be rooting for the Rams, just for you.
Appreciate it, man.
I mean, just so you saw the wave of text that came through when Cam Akers fumbled that football.
Dude,
I was like, oh, that seems like
I know. I was like,
shouldn't have happened.
oh god, dude.
No, it was when Stafford. It was when the ball flew over his head.
Yeah, you guys were like a little ahead of me. It seemed like where
Yeah.
I was watching. I was like, are you serious, dude? He was like scanning the defense and just, and I was like, oh my god.
So, Danger, good luck to the Rams. Everybody
Thank
watching, if you have a team in the playoffs, good luck to your team. If you don't have a team in the playoffs, but you're playing DFS,
Vote
good
for
luck
the
to your lineup.
root for the Rams, nonetheless.
That's right.
Do you really
And,
want the Chiefs to win? Have you seen Patrick Mahomes' wife and brother? Don't do that.
No, I don't.
Don't
I'm
root for
hardcore.
evil.
I don't have a stake in either game, but I'm rooting really hard for the Bengals.
Yeah,
Because
same.
I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So everybody, good luck this weekend. We will see you in a couple weeks for the Super Bowl, and then that's gonna be it for the NFL season. But we'll come at you with off-season content and all that kind of stuff. And then the Daytona 500 is the week after the Super Bowl, so you'll be seeing me if you're interested in any NASCAR content. So thanks everybody for watching. Great season so far. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody.